The cantina on Kepler Station buzzed with the usual mix of traders, mercenaries, and spacers from across the galaxy. In the corner booth, Jackson nursed his synth whiskey while watching the Vorthak warrior regale a growing crowd with tales of his hunts. The Terran was massive, Krieg boomed, his forearms gesticulating wildly. Nearly 2 meters tall, covered in scars. I tracked it for 3 rotations across the acid swamps of Morton 7th before I finally cornered it. His mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among his species. These Deathworlders think they're so tough, but they all break the same way. Jackson's grip tightened on his glass. Beside him, Lily placed a gentle hand on his arm, her green eyes reflecting the neon lights of the bar. She was small even by human standards, barely reaching Jackson's shoulder, with auburn hair tied back in a practical ponytail. Most aliens dismissed her entirely, a mistake they rarely made twice. "Another Terran trophy for my collection," Krieg continued, pulling out a small device that projected a hologram. The crowd gasped at the image of a human skull, bleached white and mounted on a crystalline base. 57 Deathworlders I've claimed. Humans, Kithara, even a Dolgan berserker. Jackson started to rise, but Lily's grip tightened, holding him in place. Her voice was soft, almost conversational as she called out to the Vorthak. "That's quite impressive. But I have to ask, did any of them ever hunt you back?" The cantina fell silent, Krieg's 4 eyes fixed on the tiny human woman, his mandibles spreading in what might have been amusement. "What did you say, little soft-skin?" Lily stood, her movements fluid and unhurried. Jackson knew that deceptive calm. He'd seen it before, right before she'd taken apart an entire syndicate death squad with nothing but a vibro knife in her bare hands. "I asked if any of your prey ever turned the tables," she repeated, louder this time. 57 kills sounds like you're quite the predator. But in my experience, the most dangerous predators are the ones who've been prey themselves. Krieg laughed, a harsh, chittering sound. "These Deathworlders are all the same. Big, dumb, predictable. They charge in with their primitive weapons and their bloodlust. Easy to outmaneuver, easier to kill. Bloodlust?" Lily tilted her head, genuinely curious. "Is that what you think drives us?" "Of course. You Deathworlders are slaves to your emotions. Rage, fear, desperation, it makes you sloppy." Jackson watched as something shifted in Lily's expression. The temperature in the room seemed to drop several degrees. "You know what's interesting about humans?" Lily asked, beginning to walk toward the Vorthak's table. The crowd parted before her like water. "We're not actually the apex predator on our world. We're not the strongest, fastest, or most venomous. We don't have natural weapons or armor." Krieg's eyes tracked her movement, but he remained seated, confident in his superiority. "What we are," Lily continued, "is persistent. When a lion hunts, it chases its prey until it's tired, then gives up if the chase takes too long. When a human hunts, we follow our prey for days, weeks, months if necessary. We track it across continents through seasons until it collapses from exhaustion." She stopped just outside Krieg's reach. "We call it persistence hunting. And the thing is, we never stopped doing it. We just expanded our definition of prey." The Vorthak's mandibles clicked nervously. Around the cantina, other aliens began to back away, sensing the shift in atmosphere. "You see, Krieg?" Lily said, and Jackson noticed she'd somehow learned the hunter's name. "You made a mistake when you started collecting human skulls. Because humans? We're pack hunters, and when you kill one of the pack..." She smiled, and Jackson felt a chill run down his spine. He'd seen that smile before, in the moments before their enemies realized they were already dead. "The pack hunts back." Krieg stood suddenly, his massive frame towering over the small human woman. "You threaten me, Softskin? I've killed dozens of your kind." "Threatened?" Lily looked genuinely surprised. "Oh, I'm not threatening you. I'm just curious about something." She pulled out a small holopad and activated it. "Computer, display missing persons reports human colonies past 2 standard years. Filter by last known location." The hologram that appeared showed a star map dotted with red markers, dozens of them scattered across known space. "Interesting pattern," Lily mused. "All these disappearances seem to follow your hunting routes, Krieg. Almost like someone's been tracking you, documenting your movements, building a case." The Vorthak's 4 arms tensed. "What is this?" "Oh, this?" Lily gestured at the hologram. "This is what happens when you hunt humans, Krieg. We investigate. We collaborate. We remember every single face you've taken." Her voice dropped to barely above a whisper. "And we never ever forgive." Jackson stood slowly, his hand moving to the weapon at his side. Around the cantina, he noticed other figures rising from their seats, humans he hadn't seen before, positioned at every exit, every angle of approach. "You wanted to know about Deathworlders," Lily said, her smile never wavering. "Here's something you should understand. We're not dangerous because we're violent. We're dangerous because we're smart enough to make violence unnecessary." Krieg's eyes darted around the room, finally understanding his situation. You can't do this." "There are laws, treaties." "There are," Lily agreed. "And according to Galactic Statute 47 Alpha, the murder of sentient beings for sport is punishable by life imprisonment." She paused. "Of course, that assumes you make it to trial." The Vorthak warrior, who had moments before been boasting about his kills, now stood trembling in the center of a cantina full of humans. His prey had become his predators, and for the first time in his life, he understood what it felt like to be hunted. "So here's what's going to happen," Lily said conversationally. "You're going to come with us. You're going to stand trial for your crimes, and if you're very, very lucky, you might live long enough to learn what 57 human families have been planning for you." As the net closed around Krieg, Jackson couldn't help but smile. This was why humans were truly terrifying to the galaxy. Not because they were the strongest or the fastest, but because they were patient, methodical, and absolutely relentless when protecting their own. The hunt was over, and for once the human had won.